All right, guys, so we just went over sit back. Now we're going to go over sit out. And it's the same, it's a different way to get us to the same position we were just in the sit back. I think it's a better way personally because what it's going to do is create space. Typically on top, Tony doesn't want any space. On bottom, I want to create space. That's going to make it easier for me to be able to get an escape, get a reversal. To be active on bottom, I would like space. My whole goal is to try to create space on bottom. So if you remember before, the one we just did when we did our sit back, windshield wipered, and we just pushed straight backwards. So sit back. So sit out. I mean, I guess it could be called almost a sit forward because we're going to move our butt forward. We're going to end up in that same position. This works really well from the same position that we did our knee slide stand up before. Say Tony is chopping and driving me, and I have to bring this hand out to brace so I don't fall to the ground here. If that's the case, it makes it easier to do this sit out, or sit out. I can also do it proactively on my own where I can bring my hand there and step my leg up. Regardless, we're going to get that same position before. We have our outside leg and our inside hand planted on the mat. From here, instead of doing our knee slide where we came here and then stepped up and then came to our stand up, we're actually going to throw this leg all the way through and we're going to land on our butt. So here, Tony's pressuring in, bringing that through, and we're landing in that same exact position, the sit out position, but instead of going backwards, we went forward. And again, the reason I said I'm creating space, if Tony doesn't follow me, there's going to be a lot of space here, which gives me a lot of room to be able to do some other things, to possibly be able to escape here. On the sit back, I'm pushing into him, there's never going to be space. So that's kind of the difference here. That's why I prefer this, because it gives me more of an opportunity to possibly be able to escape here. So, towards the camera. So from here, again, I can do it on my own where I can put my hand, step up, or if Tony's trying to chop and drive, I can do it that same way. The goal is I'm getting to this position, and instead of doing, again, our knee slide where we stand up, this foot's going to go all the way through. I'm going to kick this leg out too, and we're going to go right to that sit position. So Tony's driving here, create space, always looking for this wrist. If I can control this wrist, that's key. Again, I can get the 4 fingers. I can get the actual wrist. I just can't have 1, 2, or 3 fingers here. I can't, and definitely can't rip his thumb off either. That's illegal too. So if I can control this hand, that's where I want to be. Again, getting back to this same position here. So just a couple times on this, different angles. So Tony drives in, hand comes up, foot comes up. If I keep this knee down, it's going to be really hard to do this. I need to get this foot up. I don't have the drive that I need, because when I get this foot up, I'm actually driving off this toe to help bring my hips through to get to that sit. So this foot has to come up. Go back this way. So again, he chops. Get into my sit out, head and chest up again. And one more time towards the camera. Chops, hand, foot, get that whole foot and my whole leg through. And this foot kicks out as well. Looking for that wrist control. And then this is our sit out position again. So we have our sit back and then we have our sit out, getting us to the same position, 2 different ways. Honestly, I think that the sit out is better. I think it gives you a better opportunity to score. But ultimately, we're ending up in this same position. So that's your sit out.